Hi guys, welcome back to my Tentang Games, and in today's video we're going to continue the inventory series where we're going to implement an equipment system over here. So we got several items over here. Let's try to pick that up. And to equip the item, you can either drag and drop this into the corresponding slot, torso slot maybe, pants there, backpack, or you can just click on the item and it will automatically snap and equip to the corresponding slot. So weapon goes there, shoes goes there, and gloves there. It also works whenever you want to swap the item. So I'm gonna pick this X up and I'm gonna swap this. So it will swap to the baseball bat that we have equipped before. And if you want to unequip it, you can just simply click on it and it will automatically unequip everything. And if you try to drag this jacket, for example, to the pants slot, you'll not be able to do that because you can only drag this into the torso slot. Or you can just click on it and it will automatically find the correct slot for it to be equipped on. Alright, very good. And it also works with save game. So let's try to save this game and open it back. Everything should load it correctly and it should show up also in the equipment menu. Very good. Every section is accessible through the timestamps of this video, so you can navigate between them. And by the way, guys, also do over one-on-one tutoring session. So where if you got any problems or you want to implement some new features in your game, I can also help on doing that. So you can book my one-on-one session by reaching out to my email. All of the project files are available in the link descriptions for free. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and give a like to this video. And let's get started, guys. Alright, so we are in the project now. I want to let you guys know first about I have upgraded the version to 5.7. So if you guys want to download the project files in the link description, make sure you use the 5.7 version of Unreal Engine. Actually, it will most likely work also if you work on Unreal Engine 4. Alright, so without any further ado, let's just try to click play. And here we go. The first issue, the hotbar is not initializing. So we can see that there is no hotbar there. We also got several errors over here. And to fix that is actually very simple. It's my fault, sorry. I forgot to set the default value of this number of hotbar slots. So feel free to go to the your inventory component and change this to maybe 10 for now. Let's compile and play. Everything should work just fine now. So let's try to pick up several items there and we can drag this into the hotbar. Everything should work. You can consume the item. Very good. But there is actually another problem that you guys noticed that. If you try to consume this item, for example, oops, it's not there. Let me just try to pick it up and we try to consume it. It will somehow change to another item, which is very weird, right? So, and the fix for this is actually very simple. So you're gonna go to your inventory UI, I believe. And let's go here. Yeah, over here. So on the on item removed over here, I forgot to connect this inventory slot to the initialize and update slot function. So once you do that, it will everything should work. It's fine. Let's try that. Alright, so here we go. Let's try to consume this pineapple, for example. There you go. So it works perfectly fine. Yeah, it will also work if you try to consume it on this hotbar. Try to bring it back there. It also work. Alright, very good. So that's probably all for the bugs and the problems that we have. Oh no, actually, there is one more problem here. So let's try. Some of you guys were mentioning about this problem before. So let's try to go to your item master here and change the amount here to be 1. So this is gonna be the default amount of the item. So let's compile that and let's play the game, sorry. Once you drop the item, it will automatically pick up, as you can see here, and you will not be able to drop the item. So that's very weird, right? But if you try, if you just set the default value to be 0, however, and play the game, oops, yeah, drop it, it works just fine. So that's a very weird behavior, right? So I found some very simple solution as well. So it happens because whenever you spawn the actor using the I think it's on our drop item function. Whenever you spawn the actor, it will first run this function, and however, we haven't even set the amount of it. Let's try to go to your inventory component. It's on the drop item over here, and on the spawn actor here, we see that we first set the item ID, we set the amount, and initialize the item data structure, right? So if we do this, it will be run after everything runs on this event begin play. Alright, so how to fix that actually is very simple. You're gonna create a new variables, can be picked up, a boolean, let's compile that, and drag this, set this, so hold Alt, set this to false by default, this plug it in there, make a delay, so hold D and click, very short delay should be good, maybe 0.1, and set this can be picked up to true. And go here on the event on begin overlap, so maybe after this person character, and set the get the conditions. If it's can be picked up, we gonna plug the true into the add item there. So let's go here to the amount and set this to 1. Compile and play. Just drop it. Now it works just fine. Alright, so there you go. So that's for the 3 problems or 3 bugs that we have. So now let's jump into the equipment system part 1. Alright, so first I want to import some assets that I have provided in the descriptions. Make sure you guys download it first, extract that. So I'm gonna drag all of these assets into the assets folder. Alright, and also want to import some assets from the Fab Marketplace. So let's try to go to this Fab Marketplace, and you're gonna search for a survival character. This one, so it's free. So I want you guys to, if you guys have your own custom character, you can feel free to use yours. But since I don't have a character as of now, I will use this free character. So you're gonna purchase that. It's free again, and you're gonna add to project. Choose your version. The asset is not compatible with 5.7. Please select your closest alternative version. You can choose the 5.6 and add to project. So it will downloading the assets, and I'll be back once it's finished. Once the asset has been imported, you're gonna see on the survival character folder under measures here and some of the modular part that we are going to use here. Alright, so since this character has been retargeted to Unreal Engine 5 Skeleton, we don't need to do any animation retargeting anymore. We can just use this skeletal mesh in our player character. So let's try to do that. Let's go to 30% blueprint and 30% character, and just change the mesh here. Let's try to pick some of this. I'm gonna try to choose this survival character body, the full body one. Just put it there, and yeah, it should work. But this is the queen or the female version of the animation. I'm going to choose the many here, which is the male version. It has a different posture kind of thing. Let's compile that, and let's try to play the game. Yeah, so the character will appear naked at first, but we're gonna add the outfits very soon. Alright, so let's try to look at some of the assets that we have here. So we got the backpack. All of these are already rigged to the character, so I also suggest you guys to do that. So if you want to create your own equipments, make sure you create your outfits based on your character here. And now let's go back to the character, and we are going to create several new skeletal mesh under this character mesh. Alright, so the first one, let's click on add there and create skeletal mesh. Let's name this torso mesh, and the skeletal mesh asset is going to be the jacket. Oops, sorry, that. If you see that the animation is not applying properly, you're gonna go on the animation mode and just choose the many animation blueprints. It will follow the animations of the character. So let's copy paste this. It actually doesn't work. So if you try to copy paste another skeletal mesh, and let's try to use this backpack, it will not work, you know. So there is some engine bug over there. You have to manually add a new skeleton. So let's add this backpack mesh. By the way, you can click on the assets here, and you click plus, skeletal mesh will automatically show that it's going to create the backpack mesh over here. It's a very handy tool. Let's create another one. Oh, sorry, I forgot to change the animation here. Alright. Make another one for the gloves. So let's make a glove. So add a new skeletal mesh. Let's name this gloves mesh. Again, set the animation blueprint to many. Alright, cool. Make another one. Let's for the pants or jeans. It's a skeletal mesh, a pants mesh. Again, animation blueprint. Change this to every many. Last one is shoes. Let's add a new skeletal mesh for the shoes. So let's name this shoes mesh. And now we can change the animation class to many. There you go. Yes, very easy, right? But there's some problem actually for the helmet here. So because the helmet depends on this hat socket, which we currently don't have in the character, so we have to create that first. So now let's go to skeletal mesh asset here and search for hat. Over here, I'm gonna create a new socket, and it's gonna be hat socket. And we can right click on this and add a preview asset. It's gonna be a helmet. So let's try to rotate that and just make it fit the hat of this character. So you can actually change the coordinate system to the world space so it behaves like in the world's coordinates. And so let's make it bigger. I'm gonna... Alright, looks good. That's for the helmet. Let's do the same with the weapon mesh. So it's against hand R. Right click and add a socket. Add a preview assets of X. Now we can move this a bit there and it should hold on, let me change the little back to local space. Alright, it's looking pretty good actually. So save that and go back to the person character and go here on the helmet mesh. We set the parent socket to be the hat socket. And let's try to set the visibility to true to check that. Yeah, it works perfectly fine. And let's do the same with the weapon. Set this to the hand R socket and show this. Alright, there you go. Very good. So now we have done that, so we can hide that back and compile. So that's basically it for the part 1. So in the next part, we're going to set up the item category as well as setting up all of the equipment's item blueprint and then stats for the item data. Alright, let's get into that. First, I want to hide these debugging. If you have that, it's because I have put some debugging over here on the inventory, on the event graph. I want to disable this, compile that, and play. So we got no more debugging print over there. Alright, very cool. So now let's go into our blueprint item, and on our item category, we want to add several new category. So let's do the first one is torso slot, and then helmet slot, and then a weapon slot. By the way, we are going to also delete this equipment category over here because we're not going to use it anymore. But let's just do it in the end of the video. Okay, weapon slot. What else? Pants slot, and then shoes slot, glove slot, and one more for the backpack slot. Alright, so we got 7 over there. Save that. Now we are going to create a new structure. So create the blueprint structure. Let's name this struct underscore equipment item data. And I'm going to also create one more enumeration. So enum underscore equipment mesh type. Okay, we're gonna click on that first. Add 2 new entries. The first one is skeletal mesh, use skeletal mesh, and use static mesh. So it's because if you guys notice that we have 2 types of mesh for our equipment. So we have this skeletal mesh, which notes in pink over here, and the gloves also do the same, but we have the helmet and the weapon, which uses the static mesh. So what's the difference of static mesh and skeletal mesh? In this case, the difference is very simple. You cannot attach any animations to your static mesh because we rely on the socket, right? Parent socket of the bone. But if you use the skeletal mesh, you can assign an anim class, which should be the same as your character's animation, right? So that's just for your information. So if you guys have Like, oh wait, what's this? Okay, so we got some very weird error over here. So it corresponds to the save game errors, which I'm not sure why, and everything is broken. I'm gonna try to go to the save games data here. So it says this member variable is invalid. I'm going to change this to boolean and we undo that and save that. I think everything should work now. There you go. So it's very weird. It sometimes happens though. Where's that? I'm gonna click on that, set this, compile, and play. Okay, I hope that we are not going to have any more errors afterwards. Alright, so let's continue. So yes, we have two different types of mesh. It's up to you guys if you have, for example, like you want the shoes to be on static mesh or the gloves to be static mesh. It's up to you. All right, so now let's go back to the equipment item data, and we're going to add several new data over here. First one is going to be is equipment, and another one is going to be the enumeration underscore equipment mesh type. So it's named that equipment mesh type. Add new variable is gonna be the skeletal mesh. So skeletal mesh. Another one for static mesh. And I'm also going to add a boolean here. Whether if you want to use a custom transformation, I'm also going to support this in the code later on. So it's gonna be transform and custom transformation. So we're going to apply this custom transformation. So for example, if you want to have some kind of an offset or maybe some rotation offset there, you can also have it and put it here instead of having to manually, reposition for each mesh that you have. Save that, and now let's go back to the item data. So go open the start item data, and we're going to add a new variable. In this case, it's going to be the equipment item data structure. So equipment item data structure. Save that, and let's go save it first. Go to inventory item data, and we're going to maybe first let's change the helmet here, the category of the helmet to be the helmet slot. Expand this one up and set its equipment to be true. Use static mesh, and we're going to pick from the assets. So we're gonna assets there, equipment helmet there, that here. Alright, very cool. Save that. Go X and do the same. Change the item category to be weapon slot, and use static mesh. Check that its equipment to be true, and set the static mesh to be the X. Alright, so now let's create a new entry. Let's call this maybe black jacket. Copy that. We're going to paste it under the item ID and change the category to be torso slot. Make sure that you got the item ID and the row name is the same. Otherwise, some of our feature will not work. Okay, so item name, you can this could be anything. So let's try to maybe have a black jacket with capital B and G there. And item description, maybe it's on ordinary black jacket that suits perfectly on the character. Max quantity, set this to 1, and item icon, we have that. Set it to the txt torso. Item BP class, we're going to add this letter and check the its equipment, use skeletal mesh, correct, and set the skeletal mesh to be the jacket. Alright, cool. Save that, and we're gonna duplicate black jeans and copy this up, paste into the item ID, change the slot to be the pants slot, change the name to be black jeans. Black jeans. Item icons going to be the txt pants one. Use skeletal mesh, yes, and choose the jeans over there. Duplicate again and change this to black shoes. Copy that. This will be the shoe slot and black shoe. Max quantity 1 txt shoes, and use skeletal mesh, change this to shoes. All right, another one is going to be the black glove. I'm just gonna put it gloves to make it simpler. You know, gloves, it's gonna be glove slot. An ordinary gloves. So black gloves. Set the texture icon to be the TXT glove and set this one to be the gloves. Another one is backpack. So it's backpack. Item category is going to be the backpack slot. Let's call this backpack and an ordinary backpack. Oh, backpack, sorry. Item icon is going to be the txt underscore. Oh, oops, we don't have that. Oh, I'm really sorry. So I'll be back with a new item icon. Alright, so I'm back with a new asset over here. It's the backpack. I will include this in the assets pack, don't worry. Let's go back to item data and we're going to set this item icon to be the txt underscore backpack. And set them skeletal mesh to be the backpack. Alright, cool. I think last one is the... That's it, yeah. Okay, that's it. And save. And now let's create item BP class. Now let's go save that. Let's just duplicate from the helmet. Let's call this BP equipment, maybe jacket. Right, open that up. All right, over here now you cannot change the static mesh, so we have to delete that. But since this is a child blueprint, you cannot delete the component that appears that you have in the master blueprint. So instead we can just clear that and set the collision to be the no collision. And let's create another one, skeletal mesh. Drag it there and set the asset to be the jacket. We're gonna resize that maybe to 1 and make it a bit down there. And let's add some rotating movement. Change the rate to be 90 to make it a bit slower. And I'm going to set the collision to be no collision. Compile and go to class defaults. Scroll up on the item ID here. It should be the black jacket over here. Make sure you got this correct, otherwise it will maybe appear with a helmet. And compile that. And now you're gonna have to assign it to this BP class. Search for jacket. Alright, save that. And now let's do the same with the rest. Maybe I'll just speed things up. So equipment, jeans. Change the skeletal mesh to be... Oh, it's got some errors, so add a new skeletal mesh. The jeans. Change the class defaults to be black jeans. Then set it here. Do the same with maybe shoes. Let's create another one for gloves as well. Another backpack. Alright, there we go. Let's choose. Delete that. I'll create a new skeletal mesh. Compile. Settings. Change this to black shoes. Let's go our gloves. Nice viewport. Delete the skeletal mesh. Create another one. Gloves. So make it a bit smaller. Let's go here. Change the gloves there. Class defaults. Oops. Compile. Last one is backpack. Right here, change the skeletal mesh to be backpack. Oh, sorry. Backpack. There you go. Compile. Go back to the data, item data. Change the item BP class to be shoes, gloves, and backpack. Save, minimize, and save all. And let's try to put this in the world. All right, let's set it up. Pick that up. Yes, now it's working. It will appear as a new item. And when you open the inventory, you should see that the items appears in the inventory. But as of now, you cannot even click on that. But I believe that you can drop it in the world. Yeah, it's working fine, right? All right, let's go to our play character blueprint. On the event graph, we're going to make two new functions. The first one is going to be an equip equipment, and then an equip equipment. Now let's work first with the equip equipment. Make one input. Oops, gonna be the item data. Item data, and then let's try to break this up. And we can promote this to local variables in this local equipment item data, and let's get a branch for the item category. If it's equal enumeration to the weapon slot or the helmet slot, we're gonna have an or boolean, like the conditions there. This is gonna be our static mesh, so comment that static mesh equipment. And on here we kind of have a switch. Let's check it off and break it. Gonna get the equipment mesh type, so switch on that. It's gonna be our static mesh, right? So we're going to set the visibility of one of this. So let's just plug in helmet there, set visibility, and set static mesh. Yeah, there you go. But instead of putting it on the helmet mesh, we're going to delete that. Okay, sorry about, you have to plug this into the use static mesh there. On the target, we can drag off from the static mesh here. Choose select. And you can drag this into the visibility as well. Okay, and index here goes to the item category. Alright, and it's gonna be helmet and weapon slot. So helmet goes here and weapon mesh goes here. There you go. And let's also work with the use custom transformations. So get a branch. Oh, sorry, the new mesh should be the static mesh here, and the visibility should be true. Yeah, sorry for forgetting that. And get branch. Let's see how it works here. Let's break it right here. Hide the unconnected pin. Set the use custom transformation and transformations. Look in the branch. On the use custom transformations, we can drag off from the return value over here and set relative transform. Plug this into the custom transformations. Okay, so this is for our static mesh. Static mesh equipments. Now let's work on the skeletal mesh. So on the false here, we assume that it's already the every equipment besides the weapon and the helmet. We're just gonna be using the skeletal mesh, right? We can again just copy paste that. The false there. Again, let's take one and set this. Set visibility and set the skeletal mesh asset. We're also going to set anim instance class. There you go. Okay, use skeletal mesh, and we can disconnect this backpack mesh, and from the set skeletal mesh asset, get a select, and now plug this into the set visibility and set anim instance class. Okay, and index goes to the item category over here. There you go. So torso, a backpack slot goes here, gloves mesh goes there, shoes mesh goes here, pants is there. Oh, torso. There you go. That's it. And then set the visibility to be true. New mesh again going to be, it's going here, skeletal mesh. Anim instance class is going to be, you're gonna get the mesh here of the character, and you're gonna get anim instance get class. There you go, just plug that in. And now let's also do the same for the use custom transformation. Just copy that, branch over there, set the target shelf to be the return value from here. There you go, very simple, right? Now we can comment it out and skeletal mesh equipment type. All right, compile, and now we are still good to go with this function. Now let's work on the unequipped equipment. Make a new input. It's going to be the enumeration item category. So full net equipment item category, maybe. And switch. All right, so now let's first with the backpack slot over here. We're going to set the visibility to be false, and then reset skeletal mesh asset to be null, and then we can reset the relative transform. Copy this, do the same with the other skeletal mesh. So gloves and shoes. Just move it in there. Shoes and then hands. And for the torso first. For the helmet and the weapon, we're going to handle it separately. So this is for the skeletal mesh unequip. And for the helmet and weapons, and drag that to set visibility the same, and then we're gonna set the static mesh to be null. Again, do the same, so reset relative transform. Alright, so weapon mesh, copy this. Helmet, plug it there. Alright, compile, and yeah, we're good to go. Alright, so to test this out, for now, temporarily, we can go to our inventory component and go to consume item. This is our previous implementation of consuming the item. So in here, let's make a sequence. Lock the then 0 to the switch on string. Now we can delete the helmet and the X. We don't need that anymore. Alright, and keep this. Gonna delete that. Now on the then one, we're going to first break this. If it's an equipment, plug this branch into the then one. Check the condition to the equipment. If this is an equipment, we are going to get the play character. So get owner, and then cost to BP third person character. Convert to pure cost as always, and equip equipment only if that the is equipment equipped is true. No, false. On the false, we're gonna equip the equipment. Item data goes to item to consume and get item to consume. And for the true one, we're going to call the unequipped equipment. Okay, category gonna be the item category. And plug this back here into the set members. Compile that and play. And now let's try to wait. Hold on. Let me go back to third person character and let's hide everything here. So select everything and set the visibility to be false and compile and play. Now let's try to pick this equipment and click on this. Yeah, there you go. Everything is equipping perfectly fine. Right, the shoes, and now if you click one more time, it should unequip the equipment. So this is just for testing, and in the next one we are also going to have a menu over here, and you can drag this into the slots as seen in the introduction part. Alright, so it's good to know that it's working perfectly fine. Alright, so now let's work on the equipment slots and the UI. Before we do anything about the UI, I want to go first to the inventory slot data and create a new variable. It's gonna be s equipment slot boolean. Save that. So instead of creating a new slot UI like we have on our hotbar here, so we have the hotbar slot and we also have the inventory slots. Instead of creating a new one called equipment slot, something like that, I think a better way to handle this is to combine this to a single inventory slot. so it doesn't really clutter the project that much, because we already implemented a lot of features surrounding this inventory slot, like the save game, the drag and drop kind of thing, drop item, and so on. So we can just combine these two equipments and inventory into the inventory slot. So that's why I add a new boolean over here. Okay, gonna save that. Now let's go to our inventory slot, and here on the overlay we can right click and wrap this with a, where is it, widget switcher. All right, so now let's just copy paste this one, name this inventory overlay. This one is gonna be an equipment overlay, and we don't want to touch the inventory for now. We can just click that. I'm gonna delete this equip text as well as the item amount. We don't need that, as well as this ID number. So we just need the icon and the background. Very cool. And I want to also add some new text on behind of this icon, so it will show that what type of category is this slot. So we can wrap this size box with an overlay. I'm going to make this center vertically and horizontally, and make text, put it on the overlay, but it's going to be behind the size box. So drag this up before the size box and make it centered, both axes, make the justifications to be centered. Check the S variable. I'm gonna name this txt underscore equipment item category text. Go to the font. I'm gonna decrease the size to maybe 15, sorry, and change the typeface to be regular. Set the text to maybe like helmet slot, for example. I'm going to scroll down a bit, check the auto wrap text. And for now, I'm going to change the item icon of this to be maybe like helmet. And I'm going to change the name of the item icon to be img underscore equipment icon. Compile. Now let's go to the event graph. Let's make two new variables. The first one is going to be an equipment slot item category. It's going to be an enum underscore item category. I check that editable and expose on spawn. Compile that, make another one for the S equipment slot. It's going to be a boolean. Right? Again, editable and expose on spawn. Now let's go to the initialize and update slot. So we are going to, okay, from here we can get a branch. Let's put it there maybe. And if it's an equipment slot, we're going to handle it separately from this. So this is going to be, just comment this out, inventory slot initialization. Put it into false. Skip that like that. We don't want to change anything here. Copy this and paste it on top. Change this to be the equipment slot initialization. Put it true to there. Alright, item data goes here, and I want to delete some of this. We don't need the txt item amount anymore. I'm going to change the item icon to be the equipment icon. We don't need this anymore. Just delete that. Delete this as well. In there. Item icon. Change this to the equipment icon. Delete that. Item amount. Delete. Slot index. Delete. And equipment text. Delete. Alright. Very clear, right? Just have this too. Delete that. It's going to be an empty, so it's empty. And the second OR is going to be, let's get it from the inventory sort data, break that, get the item data, break that, check the SS equipment equipped, right there. It's gonna hide unconnected pins, very clean. Alright, so next one is to set the texture. It's going to be from here, gonna check the item icons, plug it there, texture, and now let's set the item equipment item category text. So set text. The in text is going to be the this one, so equipment slot item category. So it's called enum to string, and the string plug into the text. Compile. Go back to event graph, and on the pre-construct here, we're going to get a branch. This is for the visual in the equipment menu that we're going to make after this. So if this is an equipment slot, we're going to just copy the same thing from here maybe. Oops, I'm sorry guys, I forget to set the widget switcher. So let's go back to the initialize update slot over here, and we can get the widget switcher. Set active widget index. For the inventory slot is going to be 0 index, and for the equipment is going to be 1 as specified in the designer's tab over here. So 0 is the inventory overlay and 1 is the equipment overlay, right? Let's compile that. Go back to the event graph, and on the pre-construct we want to set the index, so set active widget index to be 1. Okay, set visibility. For this one, I'm going to maybe set this to collapsed, just to delete that. Yeah, we can delete all of this. We just need the text. Yeah. Alright, let's compile that. So now let's go to our inventory component blueprint, and we're going to implement some small logic to reserve another slots in our inventory slots over here. So it's going to be on the initialize slot here on the on game loaded. So we're gonna click on that, and here we can add another sequence. But first, let's create one more new variable. So it's gonna be number of equipment slots, an integer. And for now, I'm gonna set the value to be 7 because like we have specified the category to be 7 slots over here. Back here. And now let's get this up, and if it's greater than 0, get a branch and plug it to the then2. If it's more than 0, we're going to have another for loop. I'll just copy this up. Alright, so for the first index and the last index, it's going to be the number of equipment slots, but we have to promote this to a local variable first. Sorry, not this one. It should be the inventory slots. So get length. Promote this to a local variable. So let's name this local underscore maybe temporary a number of inventory. Alright, here we can. For the first index, it's going to be the temporary variable there, and the last index is going to be this one plus the number of equipment slots. Okay, put it into the last index and plug in the for loop. Check the is equipment slot to be true. So that's it. Just gonna comment this out. Need to be initialize equipment or reserve equipment slots. There you go. Let's try to compile and play. Try to play this. Everything should be working fine. You're gonna see 7 new slots appearing on your inventory, but it's still unconsumable. We're going to customize this later on. If you guys don't see this, make sure you guys have deleted the save game. So I think you're gonna have to press 2 first, and then you're gonna reload the game. Everything should show up here. Make sure that the reserved slots is showing up in the inventory UI. Otherwise, you should maybe go back and recheck your code. However, we of course don't want to show the equipment slots in the inventory UI, right? And to filter this, we're gonna go to the inventory UI and go to the initialize inventory slots on the for loop over here. We can make a branch to only get the, hold on, we can break this, I think, yeah, break it from here. If it's the equipment slot, get a not boolean, just plug it there. So if it's not the equipment slot, there we're gonna spawn all of the inventory slots. And when you click play, now you should only see the inventory slots and not the equipment slots, but the equipment slots is being stored in the inventory slots array. Alright, hope that's clear. When you compile that, now we're going to make a new widget. It's gonna be our equipment menu. So let's right click on here and make a widget blueprint. So WBP underscore equipment menu. Alright, so now let's create a size box and change the width and height override to be 400 by 600. I'm going to set the fill screen here to be the desired on screen. I'm going to add an overlay over here. Make an image. It's gonna be the background. So I'm gonna uncheck the variable there. Set the brush to maybe the, let me see. Let's go assets. Maybe this one, background 2. I'm going to change the tiling, the draw as box. Set the margin to be 0.5, so it appears like this. Nice. And change this to black and set the alpha to be 0.75. Okay, cool. So now let's add a text. Going to be in center and make it maybe like regular and change the size to be 20. Say equipment menu. Set the padding top to be 10. Yeah, very cool. Now let's create a canvas panel here. Make it full screen. Change the left padding to be 15. Top maybe 50. Yes sir. Right and bottom 15. Okay, so it's gonna get make us like a box of there. It's gonna be our canvas for creating the and layouting the slots. Let's make an image on this. It's gonna be the preview of the character. Alright, so I'm gonna make it on the center. Hold Control and click on the center anchor. It's gonna snap to this middle here. Set the alignment to be 0.5 and 0.5. Set the size to be 170 by 510. Should be good. Just the image to be the silhouette that we have. This is our character silhouette. There you go. Very good. Now let's grab our inventory slot. Let's do first the helmet. So we're going to check the size to content. Now let's check it to be like here maybe. Sorry, instead of going to anchor, hold Control and click on that on the top center. Make the alignment to be 0.6 maybe. And then it's too big for now. So I'm going to set the size X and Y to be 100 by 100. And then gonna check the is equipment slot here and change the category to be the helmet slot. So now you can see that the helmet slot text appears there, as well as the widget switcher changed to the equipment slot type. Cool. Maybe I'm going to make the opacity of the text a bit lower. Let's go here, color opacity, change this to 0. Maybe it's 5. Alright, compile, let's go back. There you go, it's better. Okay, I'm gonna copy paste that, and now let's work with the torso first. Again, Control and click, snap that to the middle, 0.5 and maybe 1 or 1.25, 1.3, 1.5. Yeah, so 1.5. And change the slot category to be the torso slot. Again, copy paste it, and now let's go into this left middle. Alignment is 0, and maybe put it on the 0.5. Cool, maybe 0.4. Yes. This is gonna be our glove, so glove slot. Copy paste it again and put it the same on the right one. So make the alignment to be 1. And change the category to be the weapon slot. Do the same, copy the torso one and on the middle there. Set the Y padding to be 0. Maybe 0.15. Category going to be the pants. And last one is going to be the shoes. So shoe slot, make 1, 0.5 and 1.1 maybe. There you go. Oh, we forgot the backpack. Maybe for the backpack, I'm going to put it maybe on this side right here. So let's copy paste that again. On the right one, change the alignment Y to be 2. Yeah, pretty good. Change to backpack slot. There you go. Gonna compile that. Now let's try to let's go to WBP underscore player hot. Put this. So on the palette here, search for the equipment menu. Just put it on this part right here. Feel free to customize the layout anything you want. Hold Control and click, and maybe just put some small padding over here. So minus 0.05. Oh, very good. All right, let's compile that and go back. Go to the event graph, and on the toggle inventory here, we're going to also toggle the equipment menu. So drag this and plug it into the set visibility. Compile and let's play the key. Alright, very good. Now you can see that it appears like this. And whenever you close the inventory, it's still, it will hide us the equipment menu as well. But there is some problem. Is the text is not showing up. I believe that it's because, let's go back here. Sorry. Go to the inventory slots. So it's because we forget to set the equipment slot over here. So let's go back to event pre-construct and let's get this inventory slot data. We're gonna set the member. Set members there and check the equipment slot there. Make it true. So this should fix, I think. Let's compile that. And there you go. So it's got this helmet slot, backpack slot, weapon slot, pants, torso, gloves, and shoes. But as of now, if we try to pick up the item and you try to drag it there, it's gonna drop the item instead. Yeah, so we're gonna fix that pretty soon. So we got some errors message over there that we're also going to fix. And this leads us to the next part, which is the drag and dropping equipment slot. So now let's go to our equipment menu. There's this one, and we're going to implement 2 new events. It's gonna be an event enter. So on drag enter and on drag leave, let's make a new variable. It's going to be inventory UI reference variable type inventory UI. There we go. Instance editable and expose on spawn. Like that. Get this, maybe like convert to validated get first. And from here, we want to set the drag leaving to be false. Copy that, and the drag leave, set this to true. Run this out, so on drag enter slash leave. Compile, and now let's go back to the player HUD event graph. So on the event construct over here, we're going to get the equipment menu and set the inventory UI reference to the UI inventory reference there. Compile, and if you click play and then try to pick up this item and try to drag this here, it should not be dropped into the wall, but it's currently does nothing. Now we're going to initialize everything in our equipment menu on the event construct over here. Okay, so let's make some small delay and then make another new variable. It's going to be the equipment slot count. Make an integer. There you go. Set this to 0 for now. Now we can get the canvas panel. We have to set this as a variable. So check the as variable of the canvas panel because we want to automatically get every out of it. So we're gonna get all children. Okay, nice. And we're gonna for each loop. Array element here, we're gonna catch this to the WBP underscore inventory slot. And we want to set the inventory UI to be the inventory UI that we have here. Okay, what else? So let's make another new variable. It's going to be the equipment slots widget reference. Make this inventory slot an array, compile, check that, and add into the array. It's gonna be the hotbar. Oh, sorry, it should not be the hotbar slot. Sorry, it should be the inventory slot. this one. Pass to inventory slot, delete that, set the inventory UI to be the inventory reference, let's put there, and this inventory slots goes into the add array over there. Alright, so now we're going to assign the slot index that we have created on the inventory component over here. So it's going to be very easy. So we're gonna get the player character, pass this to your cost. Now let's get the BPAC inventory component. We're gonna get the number of inventory slots plus the equipment slot count. Okay, we're also going to get the inventory slots array and get a copy to it based on this index over here. Okay, very easy. And we are going to call the initialize and update slot. And the inventory slot here goes to the get from this array. For this, we assign the index from the inventory slots to this widget over here, and we're gonna initialize and update the slot. Hope that's clear. So let's comment that out. Attach the reserved equipment slots from the inventory. There you go. Don't forget to increment this up, otherwise it will run into an infinite loop. Let's compile and let's click play. Let's test it out. So now let's try to pick this out and drag this into there. All right, there you go. So we can see that it appears successfully. So just drag this backpack there, and if you drag this to somewhere else, it will not do anything. And you can also drop this into the world, but still it does not update that. But we're going to fix that. But as of now, you can drag this from the inventory to the equipment menu. But there's a problem with this. If you try to move this pants slot, this pants into helmet, it's going to allow that to happen, which is not the behavior that we want, right? So we're going to fix that. It's very good to see that the equipment slot is currently working properly. Alright, so to fix this, we're going to make a function on the inventory slot, this one, and make a new function. It's going to be an equipment underscore check for type. I'm going to maybe close some of this up so it doesn't get messy. So this function is going to be a pure function. So we're gonna click on this and change this to pure. We're going to create a new input, item data. So item data for there, and make our outputs. It's going to be a boolean. Let's name it as same type. Okay, get the item data, break it, and item category. We're gonna equal enumeration. Equal if it's equal to the equipment slot item category over there. Let's plug this into the return value. Compile. Let's go to the event graph. This is just down here. So this one is for our hotbar. So I'm going to maybe comment this out. So for dragging to hotbar, and on the false right here, we are going to disconnect this node. Instead, we're gonna have another branch on here. Let's get the inventory UI. Oops, it's too messy. Yeah, it's gonna copy that, plug into the target. Yeah, let's put this one. Yeah, it's much better now. I'm gonna copy this inventory UI, get that, and get the drag leaving. Okay, as well as make it a not boolean. So this drag leaving is going to be used so if the slot is currently being dragged outside the inventory UI, we don't want to set it back to the equipment slots. Okay, so let's get an and boolean. Again, we're gonna get the drag and drop new slot. And then is equipment slot. There you go. Plug into the branch there and make another branch. This is for the check type. So we're gonna get our inventory slot data. Hold on. So we're gonna call from the drag and drop new slot. Let's call the functions equipment check for type. Item data goes here. Sorry. Break it first and get only the item data and hide the items. If it has the same type, we're going to plug this in there. If it's not, however, we're going to print a string saying that cannot move to this equipment slot. The type is different. Okay. And on the false here, plug this into the move to a new slot. Just like that. It's still the same. Okay, now we can comment this out. It's gonna be the equip move to equipment slot. It's gonna be for the bottom here, it's going to be the move to another inventory slot. And click compile and play. Now, if you try to drag these shoes into the shoe slot, it should be able to do that. But if you try to drag this into the backpack slot, for example, it says can move to this equipment slot. Alright, very good. So now it's working just fine. Drag this to pants, doesn't work. Torso. Oops. Oh, yes, it's updating, but it doesn't. Okay, we are going to fix that very soon there. Oops, it's because that the equipped state is different, so we are going to remove that after we're done with everything. All right, so it's happy to see that everything works just fine. So now you just have to actually make it equipable. So now if you try to drag this into the pen slot, you don't see anything, so the player doesn't change. We're going to actually call the equip and unequip functions that we created before. So to do that, we're gonna make a new event dispatcher on this inventory slot. So create a new one. Let's call this unequip/unequip equipment. All right, it's gonna have two new inputs. First one is going to be the inventory slot data. So new inventory slot data. And the other one is gonna be the inventory slot reference of the widget. So inventory slot reference. That's it for here. Now we're going to go back to our inventory UI. Here, go to event graph, and it's on the move to a new slot. So this is where we handle the replace, like swapping between two slots, as well as dropping the item. We want to add another one here. So let's make a sequence over here. The then 0 goes to here. And the then one, we are going to get the alt slot. So get alt slot. Right click and convert to validated get, like into the then one. Call the unequip and unequip equipment. So we're gonna have to have a branch first. It's gonna be alt slot here is equipment slot. Okay, if it's true, plug it in there. And for the inventory slot data, it's going to be the inventory slot data from here, and the slot reference going to the alt slot. There you go. Now to do the same with the new slot, because we want to swap it. So get a new slot, convert to validated get, plug it in there. On the false here, plug it into the get as well. But this is not valid to here as well. Make sure you got this correct. Now you just have to do the same with this. So if it's valid, you're gonna get the is equipment slot. And so call. Post there and get the inventory slot data. Alright, that's it. You're gonna comment that out. So call equipment equip. Sorry. Equip event dispatcher. Cool. Compile. And now let's go to our equipment menu. Over here, on the end of this event construct, we're going to bind to the event dispatcher. So from the inventory slots here, get that. We're going to assign to equip and unequip equipment. I'm gonna make it a bit more nicer again. There you go. So it's much more nicer, right? And from here, we can now get the player character as to the BP third person character over there. We're gonna get the sort data and we break it. Get a branch. Check if it's empty or not. We're going to call the unequip equipment if it's true. Yeah, so if it's empty, we're gonna call the unequip equipment. the category here, you're gonna go to the inventory sort reference, get the equipment sort item category. So don't plug this into the item data, break it and plug it here, because if this is empty, we're going to, clear the structure and it doesn't have any data here. So we're going to use the inventory sort reference and get the equipment sort item category over there. And on the false here, just call the equipment. Very good. Item data gonna goes here, item data. Comment this out. So call the players equip / unequip function. Equipment function. Alright, that's it. So compile and play. Now let's pick up these several items there, and now you can start to drag and drop it. Gloves, there you go. So it will equip to the correct slot there. And pants, equip the pants. Backpack, equip the backpack. Same for the shoes and the torso. There you go, very cool. Now if you try to drag this back into the inventory, it will unequip the equipment. Alright guys, very nice. Let's try to do this for the X and the helmet. Does it work? Yes, it does work. X, go equipment slot, there you go. It's very good. And now you'll be able to, equip and unequip the equipments. But now if you try to drop this item from here, it will drop actually, but it will not update the slots over here. Because like if we try to drop it, it should clear this slot and it will also unequip the backpack from the player. We are also getting some errors, so let's try to look up that. Access is known, trying to read. Oh, yeah, this is because the drop functions, the drop item functions. Now let's go back to the equipment menu and create two new functions. First one is going to be find equipment slot. Second one is find equipment slot from category. Let's work with the equipment slot first. Click on that, make a new input. It's going to be an integer, so slot ID. Okay, and we're gonna get this widget reference and get a for each loop. Sorry, we're going to get the inventory slot data and break that. Slot index equal, if this equal to the slot ID, and boolean if it's the equipment slot. Make a branch. So if it's true, we're going to return this make outputs. Drag it there on the true, lock the array element there. We're going to delete the new parameters of the integer. Compile and copy paste the return node on the completed here, set this to null. That's it for the find equipment slot. Let's work on the slot from category over here. We're going to do the same actually, just make an input. It's going to be the item category. So name this item category to find. Okay, do the same. So get a for each loop. That, let's get the inventory slot data. Oh, sorry. It's going to be get equipment slot item category. Yeah, there you go. From here, we can get equal enumeration if it's equal to the item category to find. Make another branch. Make a return node as always. The true. Plug the array element into the return node. I'm gonna delete that and copy paste this. Make this to null. Compile. We're good to go. Now let's go back to inventory UI. So event graph, it's going to be on the item removed, which is the draw callback. And from here, we're going to make a branch. I'm going to maybe... Okay, so if it's an equipment slot, we're going to find the equipment slot first. Let's break this down a bit there. Get the player reference, and then get the player hot reference. Get the equipment menu. Find equipment slot. There you go, true. And for the ID to find, the slot ID here goes to the slot index. Okay, and here you can get a S valid. If it's valid, we're going to initialize and update slot into the S valid. inventory slot goes to inventory slot over there. And on the false here, plug it into the initialized update slots. Just like that. Compile and play. Now we try to pick this up, put in the shoe slot and drop it. It should be dropped perfectly fine, and the character will unequip the shoes, and the shoe slot here will be empty. So just the same with others as well. Torso, weapons, and drop it. Yeah, it's working perfectly fine and it's looking great. So I think that's pretty much it for the base equipment system. But I also want to make some system wherever you click on the equipment slot, it will automatically equip to the correct slot over here. So as of now, it's just like you're gonna equip to the player, but I want it to be like it will, find the correct slots on the equipment menu and swap to that, or maybe set to that. Right? So to do that is actually very simple. You're gonna go to the inventory slots and mouse button up. This is our click event. So this is the previous one where we implemented the consume item. I'm going to go here into the consume item, disconnect this one. We don't need this anymore. Let's plug the consume item back to the switch there. Compile. And now let's go back to the inventory slots and we're gonna implement the logic here. Okay, so I'm going to maybe move this a bit there. Can disconnect that. I want to promote this to a local variable first. It's gonna be a player reference, so to make life easier. Now we're going to get a branch. Okay, we're gonna get the inventory slot data from here and break it. If it's the equipment slot over here, we're going to get plug into the branch. Okay, and from the false here, we're going to make another branch and get the item data, break the item data, and on the item category here, we're gonna get a equal enumeration. Let's hide everything. Okay, if it's equal to our boolean, if it's equal to the torso slot, copy that, or the helmet slot. Let's make another one like that. Straight this down there. Copy paste that. Helmet slot there, and it's gonna be weapon, and then hands, shoes, gloves, and last one is backpack slot. We're going to check everything there. Plug into the OR. And we're going to get the player reference again and get the the player HUD. In this case, we're going to get the WBP underscore equipment menu and check for find item, find equipment slot from category. There you go. On the item category to find is going to be the item category from here. And if it's valid, we're going to move to a new slot. So we're gonna get the inventory UI here and move to a new slot because we handle everything here, right? We call the equip and unequip equipment here. So hold on, let's go back here. Go back here. For the alt slot, it's gonna be self, and the new slot is going to be the array element here. Yeah, that's it, I think. And this is for the inventory to equipment slots. We're going to handle the equipment to inventory slots. So on click. Let's handle the equipment to inventory slots on click. So from the branch over here, we're gonna get another branch. On top of that, get the is empty. So it's not empty. If it's not empty, we're going to get the player reference again and get the BPAC inventory component. Check for empty slots. There you go. This was previously implemented in the first episode of the series. Make sure you watch this first and everything is correct. Get a branch. If the empty slot is available, we are going to move to that new slot. Gonna copy this. Alt slot is gonna be self again. The new slot is going to be the get the inventory UI and get inventory slots. get a copy to that, and index here goes to the index, and this one plug into the new slot. There you go. Very simple. Comment that out. So it's gonna be equipment to inventory slot. Click, compile, and play. Let's pick one of these up. You're gonna click on that. It should automatically snap and equip to the glove slot. Same goes for every equipment type. Yes, very good. Now let's do the same with the helmet here and the weapon. Yeah, very good. Now everything is equipping. Everything is equipped correctly, right? It will not affect the other consumable items. So if you try to use that, oops, it doesn't work. Oh, sorry, I forget to plug the false here into the consume item. There you go. The inventory component goes to the player reference. Okay, and compile and play. Yeah, everything should work. Now, if you try to click this back, it should unequip the shoes and put this back into the empty slots. There you go. So that's it for the equipment system. But let's try to save the game. So it's gonna do this and press 1 to save the game and set it up. You're gonna see that it's not equipping back the player. But if you try to open the inventory, it's saved properly. So this is something that we're going to fix. And it's very, very simple. You're gonna go to the equipment menu, event graph, and on here, on the event construct, we're going to make a branch over here. And then this gonna be the, we get from here, we get the inventory slot data. We break it. If it's not empty, however, so if it's not empty, it means that some data has been loaded into the equipment slot. Okay, hide that one. And we're going to call. So call onequip/unequip equipment. Inventory sort data goes to here. And inventory sort reference goes where? Here. Yes. Compile and play. There you go. Now it's equipping all of the loaded data. Yeah, very good. So I want to make one more new weapon because the pack here provide us with a bat. What is it? It's the meshes and the survival character bat. And you don't have to actually do this. It's just for testing. You're gonna go to content and blueprint, item, and go to the inventory item data. I'm going to duplicate from this X and let's call this baseball bat. Again, copy the row name and into the item ID, weapon slot. It's gonna be baseball bat. So never mind, skip that. An icon is gonna be txt underscore baseball bat. Use static mesh and get the bat there. Okay, and let's make item class. Let's copy from the item X. So baby item underscore baseball bat. Open it up. Open full blueprint. Change the static mesh to the bat. There you go. And go to class defaults and set the item ID to be baseball bat. Very simple. Go to inventory item data and change the item BP class to be the baseball bat. Save and drag this here to the world. Play. Let's take the baseball bat and the X and let's equip one of this. Okay, so now we equipped the X, and when you click on this, it should swap with the bat. Alright, very good. It will also work if you try to, drag and drop this and it will automatically swap. And saved. So let's press 1 to save the game and click play. Yes, it should load it up perfectly. So that's it. It's very easy, you guys, to add a new weapon, to add a new item, to add a new equipment using my inventory system, right? So that's it for this video, I guess. Oh, maybe one more thing. I have also provided you guys with the equipment equip sound effects. So why not just, try to implement this into the code. So let's go to the third person character on the equip equipment. Let's just make a sequence of here. So sequence, then 0 goes there, and then 1 we're going to play sound at location. Location going to be the get actor location, and the sound is going to be the equipment equip sound effects. So play. Now whenever you equip the equipment, you're gonna hear some sounds playing. Yes, very good guys. So that's probably it for this equipment video. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Comment down below if you got any questions or you have something to request in the next video. So I think that we have finished the inventory and the equipment system. Now maybe I'm going to make another series, something like top-down camera, or maybe some farming game or some cooking game. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe to my channel. By the way guys, I also do over a tutoring session. So if you guys got any troubles or problems in doing anything in your project, you could reach out to me in my email, and you could book one of my session, and we're going to fix your problems or maybe implement new features in the sessions. Alright guys, so I think that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.